If you or your family members have been stuck waiting for the National Visa Center to process your immigrant visa case for what feels like forever, and you have been refreshing your email constantly hoping for an interview notice, or if you've seen posts claiming that all NVC delays are suddenly over, or that everyone will get their visas approved instantly now, I need you to pause and listen, because while it is true that the National Visa Center has significantly accelerated processing in January 2026, and many people are experiencing shorter wait times, the reality is more specific and nuanced than the viral headlines suggest, and understanding exactly what has changed and what has not could prevent you from making mistakes or having unrealistic expectations that lead to disappointment. You deserve clear, factual information about what this NVC acceleration actually means, which cases are moving faster, what delays still exist, and what you should be doing right now to ensure your case moves smoothly. Welcome to Immigration Law Alerts, where we give you immigration information that is calm, accurate, and free from the exaggerated claims that are causing confusion about visa processing right now. Let me begin by explaining what the National Visa Center is and why its processing speed matters so much to families waiting to immigrate. The National Visa Center, which everyone calls NVC, is the State Department office that processes immigrant visa applications after USCIS approves your petition. If you are immigrating to the United States through a family-based petition or an employment-based petition, your case goes through several stages. First, a U.S. citizen or green card holder files a petition for you with USCIS. Once USCIS approves that petition, your case is transferred to the National Visa Center. The NVC collects required documents, reviews them, collects visa fees, and then schedules your visa interview at a U.S. embassy or consulate in your home country. For the past several years, the NVC has experienced significant backlogs, meaning cases were sitting at the NVC for many months or even over a year, just waiting to be reviewed and move forward. Families were separated for extended periods, people could not make plans for their futures, and the uncertainty and stress were overwhelming. The delays were caused by multiple factors, including staffing shortages at the NVC, increased application volumes, COVID-related disruptions, and system inefficiencies. Now let me explain what has actually changed in January 2026 and why people are saying the NVC is processing faster. According to recent data from the State Department, the NVC has made substantial progress in reducing case backlogs through increased staffing, improved digital processing systems, and prioritization of older cases. This means that many cases that were stuck in the queue are now moving forward more quickly, and newer cases are being processed faster than they were a year ago. However, and this is critically important, faster NVC processing does not mean instant visa approvals or that all delays in the immigration system have disappeared. There are still multiple stages in the immigrant visa process, and the NVC is only one part of that process. Even if the NVC processes your case quickly, you may still face delays at other stages, such as waiting for visa numbers to become available, waiting for interview appointments at the embassy or consulate, or undergoing administrative processing after your interview. Let me now address the most common rumors and misconceptions that are spreading about this NVC acceleration. Rumor 1, if your case is at the NVC, you will automatically get your interview scheduled within weeks. Not necessarily true. While processing times have improved, how quickly your case moves still depends on several factors, including whether you have submitted all required documents correctly, whether a visa number is available for your category and priority date, and whether the embassy in your country has interview appointment availability. Rumor 2, the NVC acceleration means visa numbers are no longer a constraint. Completely false. Visa number availability is controlled by annual limits set by Congress and is tracked through the monthly visa bulletin. The NVC processing faster does not create more visa numbers or make your priority date current sooner. Rumor 3, you should immediately resubmit all your documents to NVC to take advantage of faster processing. Bad advice. If you have already submitted complete and correct documents to the NVC, resubmitting them will not speed up your case and may actually create confusion. Only submit additional documents if the NVC specifically requests them. Rumor 4, everyone at NVC will get their interviews by the end of 2026. Unrealistic. While many people will benefit from faster processing, the total number of people waiting and the constraints of visa number availability and embassy capacity mean not everyone will complete the process in 2026. Now let me explain precisely who is benefiting from the faster NVC processing and who is not. The people seeing the most immediate benefit are immediate relatives of U.S. citizens, meaning spouses, unmarried children under 21, and parents of U.S. citizens. These categories have no numerical limits, so if your case is documentarily complete at the NVC and you're an immediate relative, you're likely to receive an interview notice much faster now than you would have a year ago. Also benefiting significantly are people in family preference categories whose priority dates are current according to the Visa Bulletin. This includes the F1 category for unmarried adult children of U.S. citizens, the F2A category for spouses and minor children of green card holders, the F2B category for unmarried adult children of green card holders, the F3 category for married children of U.S. citizens, and the F4 category for siblings of U.S. citizens. If your priority date is current and your documents are complete at NVC, the faster processing means you should receive interview scheduling more quickly. Employment-based immigrant visa applicants are also seeing improvements if their priority dates are current. This includes categories like EB1 for priority workers, EB2 for professionals with advanced degrees, EB3 for skilled workers, and other employment categories. However, the following groups are not directly helped by faster NVC processing. People whose priority dates are not yet current because even if the NVC processes cases quickly, they cannot schedule interviews until visa numbers are available according to the Visa Bulletin. People who have not yet submitted required documents to the NVC because the NVC cannot move forward until you complete your part. People whose cases are delayed due to issues at the U.S. Embassy or consulate, such as limited interview appointment slots or administrative processing after the interview. Let me explain the Visa Bulletin and priority dates because this is essential to understanding whether faster NVC processing will actually help your case move forward. For family preference categories and employment-based categories, the U.S. issues only a limited number of immigrant visas each year. Demand exceeds supply, so cases are processed in the order they were filed based on the priority date. Your priority date is the date your petition was filed with USCIS. Each month, the State Department publishes the Visa Bulletin showing which priority dates are current for each category and country. Only when your priority date becomes current does a visa number become available for you, and only then can the NVC schedule your interview. The faster NVC processing helps you once your priority date becomes current because the administrative steps at NVC now happen more quickly, but it does not make your priority date become current faster. That is controlled by visa number availability, which is set by law. For immediate relatives of U.S. citizens, there is no priority date or visa number limit, so they are not subject to these waits. This is why immediate relatives are seeing the most direct benefit from faster NVC processing. Now let me walk you through what you should actually do if you have a case at the National Visa Center. First, check your case status regularly on the Consular Electronic Application Center website, commonly called CEAC, using your case number and invoice ID number. This website shows the current status of your NVC case and whether any documents are missing or under review. Do not contact the NVC repeatedly asking for updates if your case status has not changed, as this does not speed up processing and ties up resources. Second, ensure you have submitted all required documents correctly and completely. The most common reason cases are delayed at NVC is missing or incorrect documentation. For most immigrant visa cases, you need to submit civil documents such as birth certificates, marriage certificates, divorce decrees, police certificates, and financial documents including the Affidavit of Support Form I-864 with supporting tax returns and proof of income. Review the NVC instructions for your specific visa category carefully and make sure everything is submitted as required. Third, check the monthly Visa Bulletin published by the State Department to see if your priority date is current. The Visa Bulletin is usually published around the middle of each month for the following month. If you're in a family preference or employment-based category, you need to know your priority date and track when it becomes current. If your priority date is not current, the NVC cannot schedule your interview regardless of how fast they are processing, so you simply need to wait. Fourth, if your priority date is current and you have submitted all required documents but you have not received an interview notice, you may contact the NVC to inquire about the status. However, understand that even with improved processing times, there can still be some delay between when your case becomes documentarily complete and when your interview is actually scheduled, especially if the embassy or consulate has limited appointment availability. Fifth, start preparing for your visa interview even while waiting for the interview notice. Research what documents you need to bring to the interview, review common interview questions for your visa category, and make sure all your supporting documents are organized and up to date. Being well prepared will help your interview go smoothly and reduce the chance of delays due to administrative processing. Sixth, monitor your email regularly, including your spam folder, because the NVC and the embassy will communicate with you primarily by email. Make sure the email address on file with NVC is current and check it frequently. Missing important notices from NVC or the embassy can cause unnecessary delays. Seventh, do not make irreversible decisions such as quitting your job, selling property, or booking final travel until you actually have your immigrant visa in your passport and are ready to travel. Immigration processing can still have unexpected delays even with improvements at NVC, and you need to protect yourself financially and practically by not making premature commitments. Let me now explain the role of U.S. embassies and consulates in this process, because this is where some people will still experience delays even after the NVC processes their case quickly. Once the NVC completes its processing, your case is sent to the U.S. embassy or consulate in your home country where you will attend your visa interview. The embassy reviews your case, conducts the interview, and makes the final decision on whether to issue your immigrant visa. However, embassies and consulates have varying levels of capacity, and some are facing their own backlogs of interview appointments. In some countries, there may be wait times of several weeks or even months between when the embassy receives your case from NVC and when you can actually get an interview appointment. This is especially true in countries with high demand for U.S. visas or in locations where embassy staffing has been affected by various factors. Additionally, after your interview, some cases are placed into administrative processing if the consular officer needs additional time to review security checks, verify documents, or obtain additional information. Administrative processing can take weeks or months, and it is separate from NVC processing times. The acceleration at NVC does not directly affect embassy interview scheduling or administrative processing timelines. Now let me provide some realistic expectations about what faster NVC processing means for different types of cases. If you are an immediate relative of a U.S. citizen, you submitted complete documents to NVC, and there are no issues with your case, you might see your interview scheduled within 2 to 4 months from when your case becomes documentarily complete. This is significantly faster than the 6 to 12 months or more that many people experienced in recent years. If you are in a family preference category and your priority date just became current, you might see interview scheduling within 3 to 6 months after submitting complete documents to NVC. This is also an improvement over previous longer wait times. However, if your priority date is still many years away from being current, you will still need to wait for visa number availability regardless of how fast the NVC is processing. And if you are in a heavily backlogged category, such as F4 for siblings of U.S. citizens from countries with high demand like the Philippines or Mexico, or EB3 for Indian or Chinese nationals, you may still face very long overall wait times, even though the NVC portion of the process is faster. Let me also address what happens if you have been waiting at the NVC for a very long time and your case has not moved. First, verify that you completed all required steps. Log into the CEAC system and check your case status. If it shows that documents are missing or fees are unpaid, that is why your case has not moved. Complete whatever is required. Second, check if the NVC sent you requests for corrections or additional documents. Sometimes people miss NVC emails and do not realize they need to take action. Third, if your case shows as documentarily complete and your priority date is current, but you still have not received an interview notice after several months, contact the NVC through their inquiry system to ask about the status. Fourth, if you believe there is an error or unusual delay, you can contact the State Department's Bureau of Consular Affairs or reach out to your U.S. Congressional Representative's office for assistance. Congressional offices can sometimes help resolve administrative issues, though they cannot change eligibility or create visa numbers. Before I close, I want to address the emotional aspect of this waiting process because I know how difficult it is. Many of you have been separated from loved ones for years. You have been checking your email and case status constantly. Every delay feels unbearable, and when you hear news about processing improvements, you feel hope but also anxiety about whether it will actually help your case. This is completely understandable. I encourage you to focus on what you can control, which is ensuring your documents are complete and correct, staying informed about your priority date through the visa bulletin, and preparing thoroughly for your interview. Try to manage your expectations realistically by understanding that faster NVC processing is a positive development, but it does not eliminate all sources of delay in the immigration system. Let me remind you that immigration rules rarely change overnight and due process exists. The U.S. immigration system operates according to established procedures and legal requirements. While the system can be slow and frustrating, it does eventually move forward for people who meet the requirements and complete the necessary steps. The improvements at the National Visa Center in January 2026 are genuine, and they are helping many families, but they are not a magic solution that instantly resolves all immigration delays. If this video helped you understand what the NVC processing acceleration means for your specific case and what realistic expectations you should have, I would appreciate it if you subscribe to Immigration Law Alerts and turn on notifications so you receive accurate updates as immigration processing continues to evolve. Share this video with anyone who is waiting for an immigrant visa and who might benefit from clear factual information rather than exaggerated rumors. And if you have questions about your NVC case or immigrant visa processing, leave them in the comments. While I cannot provide personal legal advice, I can address common questions in future videos. Thank you for watching, and remember, stay informed through official sources like the State Department website and the monthly Visa Bulletin. Keep your NVC documents complete and up to date, and be patient as the system works through your case. Your time will come.